2002 is when I first came over from Sydney, and my first experience with Glory was I was playing football with Kenny Lowe and Robbie Dunn, who were both at the time assistant coaches at Glory, and I knew Dave Mitchell too from my time in Sydney, so he asked me to come down and have a kick around with them, and one thing led to another, and my old mate Winnie was looking to get out at that time. So that was the second year into the A-League. The A-League had already been going for 1 year. Yeah, that's right. So I came over to work in logistics. I worked for a rather large air freight firm. Spent 15 years with them and came over to Perth to establish their centre out at Perth International Airport. So yeah, I've had extensive knowledge with logistics for most of my other life. I think the area that I grew up in was a lot of migrants in that area, and us skips, they used to call us. They were so racist. We all used to play together in the street, and you know, I'm talking now 5 and 6 years old. So the local club down there was Pagewood, and we all went down to Pagewood together, and I played there until I left to come here. So I played well over 1,000 games for Pagewood and bounced about some other clubs, but predominantly with Pagewood. Absolutely, well, I was life member there, and I was president of the club there for 7 seasons. So I've been around Pagewood, and when I go back, I always touch base with them, and my mates are from those days, still today. Yeah, Mum played before I played. She was to go on the 75 Matildas tour of Hong Kong, and she fell pregnant with my brother Matthew, so she had ended up not going, but she played for a very strong club over there, St George of Budapest, where that's where Robbie Slater, that's where he was from. So yeah, that women's league there, and still to this day she is friends with the girls that she played with. Scott Jamieson, definitely. He was one of the favourites. He would come in every morning carrying a coffee and having something to eat. Victor Sikora used to love the chocolate croissants. He'd pop in there. So especially those times when we were over at training at McGilvray Oval, the kit room there was was a hive of activity, and all those young players that come through that at that period, Josh Risdon, Brendan O'Neill, Adam Taggart, old cranky nuts Adam Taggart, but yeah, he was there and thereabouts. But yeah, got some good fun in that room. Yes, definitely. Not much talk about football at times either, but yeah, maybe they can get some advice from me. I offer advice to them. I don't know if they listen or not, but I offer advice.
Some sort of life coach.
Yeah, that's what I always say to them. I give you life lessons here. The football's done by someone else. I give you life lessons. Yeah, so Lambo's Bar and Grill is another very relaxed environment where you actually get life lessons again. You get life lessons. With a couple of glasses of wine or a couple of beers here and there, it gets a bit freer and people can openly discuss things. I'm going to put food on one day. One day I'm going to get food on. Although we did have chicken wings one time. Does that help? That counts. Probably Josh Risdon leaving is my biggest emotion, because he was here from a young boy and left and went over east and started playing. So he was important to me personally. I had a very good relationship with Scott Jamieson. My family were away in Sydney one Christmas, and he invited me over to his house. He was in Perth alone, and he said he would bring the salads and bread rolls, and I would bring the meat, which I thought was good. So I turned up at his house, and yeah, we had meat. Yeah, definitely that's my working environment, and those people are my workmates, and whatever I can do to help them, both professionally and personally, I do. I had some very good relationships. Winnie comes to mind. You know, Rusty, of course, is #1 fan. He's been very good for me. Of course, Chris Hutchinson, that I've had many trips with, many times away, many a late night. Yeah, he's probably a very good pal, and all the others that have come by. You know, I can't say anything bad about anyone because they're all very good, look after me, and I do what I can to look after them. Yeah, all the Kitmen talk to each other regularly. So I think I've been through this before about players coming and going. They give you the heads up. You're in for a tough one, or he's a great guy. Take care of him. Make sure he's got his socks together. He doesn't like them separate. All that stuff. So yeah, who's Melbourne Victory? Guido is a great kid. He's been there a long time, as I have. Young Brent at the Jets, great guy, great kid, been there a long time. We were actually pleased they used him for the recent All-Stars game, so the banter was flying about a bit with Brent, so good on the kid, yeah. But overall, we all get on well, help each other when we're away, and help each other when you're at home as well. Yes, very more precious now. Some of them, I think they should bring their mums to pick up after them. But the younger ones, there's a degree of respect there for myself, so I don't have any problem helping them pick up their things.
So in that case, has your job become harder?
It's a hard job. If anyone asks, it's hard. Best job in the world? But no, I've been here a long time now, so it's the ins and outs I know very well. I know all their scams. I didn't start working here yesterday. All of those. Shane Smeltz as captain. Smeltzy was good. He was very proper, kept everything neat and tidy, the touch of OCD, so Smeltzy was good. He was fine. So who was high maintenance? High maintenance, five-a-side. Oh, goalkeepers, a crazy bunch anyway. Liam has a lot of things that he requires, but he's very well organised, so he doesn't really cause too much concern to me, but points out a lot of things that I've done wrong. So Liam would be my goalkeeper, Shane Smeltz my captain. Steve McGarry loves a whinge, so he could be in that team as well. Who else have I got from those? Yeah, no, they're all pretty good. They're all pretty good. I can't think of a five-a-side because I'll single out people now. Oh, Tags has got to be in it.
Well, that's four. You
Yeah,
might as
Tags
well
on
go
it.
to five
Yeah, I
now.
might as well go for another one now. Tags, he'd be in the five-a-side team. I don't know who else I've got. I can't think of the current ones who... Oh, my man Daniel Sturridge.
No.
Yes, he's a good guy. He's a very good guy. But I like every supporter we have. Wished he could have played more. Wished he got on the field a bit more because the things that he did on the training pitch were exceptional at times when he had the ball. But yeah, injury curtailed, so we took a chance. It didn't quite work. The members and fans loved them. I even got the snippet of they thought it was Graham Arnold waving to them. That was me.
That's brilliant. That.
Yeah, the fans are good. The fans are good. I've often caught up with the fans after games while we're away, and often caught up with fans at the game. So I think they're an integral part of our whole club. You know, you need to move them to the top of the tree as to people that you need to take care of. They're the customers. They want to buy the product, so we need to take care of them. And things that I can do for them, I'm more than happy to do for them. And yeah, I have a good relationship with them. I've even sent my family away on their trips, a tour of duty. So I do consider them, a lot of those guys, they're good mates. Yeah, it was after a Wanderers game. I went over to our fans. We'd lost the game, and they sort of were calling us over, and I sort of walked across and gave them a wave. And one of the photographers caught a shot of me giving them a wave, and the caption come up after the Wanderers game, Graham Arnold thanking the fans, but it was me. Michael Thwaite would be in that. I could pick the fun team. I have to have Jacob Burns in that team because people on the other team need a kicking. God bless him, Liam Miller, because he was just a very good guy and a very good player. Liam would be in. My goalkeeper, Danny Vukovic, after my dog bit him, but anyway. I probably went in the kit room. He came in the kit room and caught me by surprise. I had my dog in there, and the dog was under the table, and Danny went reaching for him, the dog bit him. So I got in trouble off Fergie for that because he thought he'd cut his finger, but everything was okay.
Excellent.
Yeah, so that would and I'd chuck Tags into there too because he's good fun. Crazy Horse, good fun. It'd have to go close to being this COVID time when we did our Melbourne trip, and whilst we were over there, we were informed we were going to Tasmania. So that was a big logistical one because we had 64 people moving with us. So we were loading up in hotel docks. I went and bought some pallets, we bought some straps, we bought some wrap. I used my contacts to get it from A to B, and then it was key, the timing. So I needed that timing to be right, needed to be picked up on this day and left on that day to arrive on a particular day. That was a tough one because we had all sorts. We were carting around baby cots, we were carting around baby seats as well, just something that is out in the ordinary, plus the players' bags, plus their personal bags. Some of the players had their family with them. We had to get them moved, and then of course our bags. So when we travel on any given day, we travel with about just under 2 tonne. So we move it's a production when we turn up somewhere. So those planes, the baggage handlers now with Qantas, I can completely understand that they're struggling at the moment, and I know exactly why. I know, working in freight and logistics, I know why. I love the Wellington trip. So there's a great bunch of guys over there who we catch up with regularly. Always good fun, always take care of us. The old Kitman over there was from the original Auckland Kings days. Unfortunately, his name was Russell, he passed away, so Russell was a great guy to have as a bouncing board, so he could help whenever he could. The Wellington trip, yeah, it's not as hard as it is long. It's a long way to get there. The planes are big enough to carry our equipment because they fly the wide-bodied aircraft over, so that's handy, as opposed to, of course, a narrow-bodied, which start to struggle with passenger luggage and our 1.8 tonne. The most challenging one is definitely the Malaysia one, because we not only played in, Manila, the Philippines. We played in Manila, and then we actually went up to Ilocos to play against the national team Philippines up in Ilocos. So Ilocos was an hour plane trip north in a very propeller plane, bit hairy. We had to actually get some of the staff from their club to drive the equipment up, because if we put it on the plane wouldn't be able to take off. So that was a challenging one, the Philippines. But the South African trips, I said it before with you too, and you came on one of them. Great pre-season, strong games, hard games, physical games, and of course we trained very hard over there. So those were a great start to the season. With those seasons, we definitely hit the ground running after playing games like that. In our team, I liked little Andrezinho. I like watching him. Definitely Liam Miller. When we had the grand final with Brisbane, I refer to those players a lot because they were one of our success stories at the time. So I like to watch Steve Pandelides play because he had this philosophy that the ball would go past and not the man, or the man would go past and not the ball. So I like Panda for that. And then of course Cass. Cass did a lot of stuff there that was amazing on the field. But I can assure you the little Sheva games and the five-a-sides at training, his team always won. If they didn't win, we just played longer until they won. It's better. It was actually better for everyone that his team won. The Central Coast semi-final to get us into the grand final, that was a big one for me, especially when they'd missed a penalty. Yeah, that one was a good one. The Melbourne victory games in Melbourne are very good. The crowd adds a lot to it, and as our crowd does when we're here. So the Adelaide game here, when Joel scored the penalty to finally get us through at HBF Park, I think that was a great one. And I'll go back to when Robbie played his first game for us, Robbie Fowler, when he played his first game for us. We played North Queensland here. The excitement levels to get to that stage were good. I don't think we won that game in the end, or might have drawn 3-3. Yeah, so we drew that game. Yeah, so there's some standout games, but as a football lover, every one of them, and I'm as bad as they are when we lose. I hate it. I don't talk to anyone. I pack the gear away. I get the shits with the players. Get the shits with everyone if we don't win. But definitely the bar and grill's open when we do win. I've been tempted a lot to do that. A lot. Especially when the socks aren't, this general stuff which the socks aren't in the right way. They chuck the shirt on the ground. I hate them chucking the shirt on the ground, as any fan would. I'm like a fan too. What are you throwing our shirts around? So put the shirts in the right way. They've got your name on the back too. So don't chuck them like they're a piece of garbage. Yes, the Premier's plate was, that's the silverware which we had first, for me anyway. The two FFA Cup losses hurt. We was extremely close in both, and we played away to Adelaide the first one, lost 1-0, and my little mate Josh got sent off that game. We lost. Still don't know how we didn't get the next year a home game for us. I think our fans were robbed. There you go, well, they were robbed. They were robbed of watching the final. So because I thought we'd earned the right from the year before, I think the Cup, the Australian Cup now, needs to come out with where this final's going to be played. If it's going to be a neutral venue, pick it now. If it's going to be criteria to get there, pick it now. So these teams have an aim to not only get to the final, but to have it at their city, if that's the case. Yeah, too many players watch English Premier League, and the substitutes sit in the stand. They seem to be sitting in the stand, but of course they're on their bench, but they haven't got their playing shirt on. I don't understand why they don't put it on. So yes, Scotty wore the warm-up shirt to the bench and forgot to grab his playing shirt. So when Popper grabbed him to go on, he said Lambert left it there.
I think it was maybe the 75th minute, and we were winning 2-1 against Melbourne, and the boss said, "Nebs, you're going on." So ran over, took my jumper off, ready to go, looked down, got my warm-up shirt on. So I'm thinking, all right, here we go. I'm not going on now. Anyway, I just turned. My first reaction was, Lambo, where's my shirt? So Lambo's copped a bit of a spray. I've had to run down the tunnel at Amy Park. As I come back up, straight up to the lino so the boss couldn't change his mind and say, no, someone else is going on. And then after Lambo, obviously I've thrown him under the bus. It was my first reaction, so.
Well played, but no. I had an incident with Steve Pantelidis' shirt. We're actually playing in Wellington, and for the 2 weeks prior to that, Panther was injured and hadn't played. And I was at the airport, ready to go to Wellington, long trip and all, frantically packed the day before, got everything ready, and all of a sudden I seen Panda walking in with his bag, travelling. I thought, oh no, what are you doing? He goes, I'm okay, I'm playing. Shit. I didn't have his shirt, and the plane was leaving, so I end up getting the shirt picked up. We were already on our way to the first leg of the flight into Melbourne and then on to Wellington. So I had the shirt sent to Wellington. It got held up in Wellington Customs. Actually, it wasn't even Wellington, it was in Auckland. And I thought, oh no, it's not going to make the game. So Russell over in Wellington, I said, look, I need the word Pantelidis. I had a blank shirt that I could put it on. So he says, yeah, no problem, go see this guy, you can get it done. So I turned up at the printer and said, okay, here's the Pantelidis. He had the Pantelidis. I said, that's not even the correct font. It wasn't even the same font. And at the time it was the curved one. So Fergie was the coach at the time, so I went and told him. And he told me in his way that it was unacceptable. So so Panda was on the bench that day. So I thought, hope he doesn't go on, because he had his jacket on. But sure enough, Fergie calls him, up he goes. In Wellington, the camera is right behind the player going onto the field. I was going, oh no, I was looking at the big screen, oh no. And he went on, one of the Wellington guys actually leathered him, give him a kicking, probably just payback, but give him a kicking, and he went straight down, face down, and I'm on the bench, roll over. Yeah, so that went out, and then once that went out, when I got back to the change rooms, my phone had text messages everywhere. So that was a slight slip up, but not everyone caught on.